Hello and welcome.
Hello, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Tis the season. I have the hat. I'm not too sad about what happened to me, but that's life. I'm chill.
You had a good run, mate.
I didn't think my team was that good, to be perfectly honest.
It was better before you traded away Chris Olave.
Mate, you would have been regretting that. We'll talk about this trade. This trade is, as you said, the Kingmaker's legacy. You would have regretted that trade. I'm sure you regretted it. If it didn't happen, you're not in the Herion Bowl.
Correct. Yeah. So I've worked this out. I would have everything else would have worked out the same. I would have finished second seed. And I would have lost this week to Carter Factor had I not made that trade with you. So
and I'm sure you regretted the trade. I'm sure you regretted
very remorseful about having to make it.
What an outcome, eh? No matter what Olave does in the Herion Bowl, you wouldn't even be here without that trade. He could stink it up, name on run, quit at 50 points, but it'll be irrelevant. You wouldn't be here without it.
Correct. Love Chris Olave. All right, let's get into it. This is our last show. I wasn't actually going to do this, but I actually had multiple members of the league request that the tribunal be convened in order to litigate this small matter of Rashee Rice being very inactive. Rashee Rice being started in the 5th place playoff by this bloke on screen here. Now, look, far be it from me
What? All right, I'll defend myself in a moment.
Look, far be it from me to, as the commissioner. By the way, I got the ring here. I should put it on. Far be it from me to crack down on anybody for not starting a full team in the 5th place playoff. I'm a little bit surprised that you didn't have the self-respect to set a lineup even while playing off a 5th place, right? But I do think this is a little bit emblematic of what the Chris Kelly experience has been this season. Like, been a little bit checked out, a little bit absent. When we do manage to do a show, it's squeezed in between other podcasts that are more important. When you do come on, there's zero preparation being done. So I guess this leads me to the question: will we ever see the dedicated, committed, dialed-in Chris Kelly back in the league? Right.
Yes. This year has been a particularly difficult year for me because 3 of my most senior staff have been on maternity leave. So my workload and my requirement to check everything that gets done has been through the roof. Plus, I got new clients. It's been a very successful year business-wise, but it's meant that I've had less time for all my other extracurriculars. When I get these 3 senior staff members back next year, I will be way more available to be participating in my extra shit. I've actually had to work this year. That hasn't been the case for a while. So that's the big difference. But I take what's the word? I'm not. I think this is bullshit. Who gives a fuck about the 5th? Like, it's a dead rubber. The season is over when you're out. We don't play for 5th place. And I know people have talked about this in the past. And if you think these things matter, then you're an idiot. It doesn't affect draft position. There's no money on it. It's done. And you know who also didn't give a shit? Andy. And I give him props for our dead rubber match that he didn't care about either.
He cared enough to start a full team, though, didn't he?
I still beat him, and he got Puka with 40 points.
We just before we were on air, we were going through the stats around final placement, right? Which is the one thing that is impacted by this, right? There is like a lifetime average of final placement in the league, and that's, if anything, that's what you're playing for, which is not. You're right in saying it's not worth a lot. I put this in, as I said, because multiple people were like, hey, you should call out CK on the show about this. But number 2, I wanted to use it as a vehicle to give you shit about being pretty absent this year, so which I've done. So
that was an effective vehicle. I appreciate the bit. I appreciate the relevance. I actually didn't realize that when in those final placement stats, if I realized that, I might have actually that's not how I would do the final placement stats. But I guess, you're the one who keeps them. So I didn't appreciate that. And now I care more. And I'm glad I was able to get over Andy in the end. So for me.
You should be grateful that's how I do the final placement stats, because it was the only way that we were able to work out how many Ringo Bowls people had been in, because we've lost all the ESPN stats.
I would ignore the bullshit matchups and go back to the ladder position. Do you get what I mean? I'm not explaining this very well, but do you understand how I would do it? Like, yeah. But good.
Anyway,
I'm glad I won. Good place, baby.
That is the end of session for the Commissioners Tribunal for 2025. I feel like it's been a good year. We've put a lot of people on blast that deserved it, and we're now closing up shop.
Photo of me, by the way. How good is that photo?
Really good. Yeah.
What a rock and roll photo.
Was this with the Arctic Monkeys band?
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. It's a great strap, by the way. The strap looks like something out of a BDSM dungeon, mate.
It's an actual crocodile like skin.
Yeah. Did you kill the crocodile yourself?
No.
You should tell people that you did. That'd be a great story. All right. Let's move on. Once again, we're just going to look back on those that fell short in the last couple of weeks. Quarterfinals, Handsome Andy. You made him extra handsome for this one because
it's very handsome.
Bit of sympathy. Yeah, had put together a good campaign, but dipped out in the quarters. Chris Kelly represented, as we discussed, by a blank placeholder, as he has been for most of the season. Semi-finals, Tex represented here in his final form by simply a pair of glasses. And then Carter Factor, the clock struck midnight for Carter Factor in the semis. But, another really good campaign. He's one who, I think on those lifetime standings, he's definitely up there. He seems to be in the playoffs almost every year. So good job, Carter Factor.
He won the Ringo for a second time in 2017 and has effectively never looked back. 3, 3rd, 6th, 7th, 6th, 1st, 6th. I don't know, whatever he came last year. He took that second Ringo. He was actually the first person to ever get 2 Ringos, which in our league of people like Schluter and Jared and the people playing in it this week is actually quite an insult to be the first person to get 2. And he obviously took that as a real kick up the arse and vowed never to return. And he's done well.
He's done well. Okay, let's move on to the main event. To set the scene here, I wanted to do a bit of a history lesson about the Herion Bowl. For those who are maybe a little bit newer to the league, or even those that are not, it was a bit of a walk down memory lane as to the origins of the Herion Bowl. Thank you.
Cool.
So the league started in 2013, and it was a pretty slapdash, pretty unserious league, and accordingly our trophies were pretty unserious as well. So the original league championship trophy was provided by Father Tex Horner, and it's pictured here. It was kind of one of those cheap, tacky rubber footballs that you can buy for $10 from the shops, but this particular one was autographed, right? And Tex had brought it over from US. He'd gotten it signed during his time living in Texas, and it was autographed at and Tex can fact check this and correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was the opening of the largest Walmart in the state, or maybe even the world. I can't remember the exact details there. It was a very big Walmart that was being opened. Yeah,
the biggest Walmart in.
Yeah, it was autographed by this guy, Mike Tournay, right, who was part of that great Dallas Cowboys team of the early 90s, right? So, won a couple of Super Bowls. Fun fact, actually, I found this out just the last few days while doing a bit of research. I grew up in Hawaii, played on the same high school basketball team as Barack Obama.
What different life they led.
Yeah. But then
it's kind of too big to be playing baskall. What position is this guy playing? Is he powerful or something?
Guessing he might have packed on a few kilos after leaving high school and becoming an offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Went on to went on to block for some of the greats and win a couple of Super Bowls in Dallas. Anyway, not long after that signing happened, and I don't know the exact time frame. It might have been within a year or so. He died of a
next
heroin
day.
overdose.
Why not? Next day.
Why not? He died of a heroin overdose, and thus we named this thing the Herion Bowl, and the match in which it is contested, the Herion Bowl.
Sometimes colloquially called the Smack Bowl.
Yes, colloquially called the Smack Bowl. Now, this ball itself was controversially lost to the league for a few years, during which time it was spectacular.
Sorry, Jared would like to jump in here. I've only put you in the realm of Schluter in fantasy performance, not as a person. Obviously, when it comes to the person and your personality, you are leagues in front of your fantasy performance ain't much better. Sorry, Jazz.
I think this is the first time Jared's ever watched the show live.
Obviously, this little thing I dropped in the group, I did that little group chat. It's paid off. Jazz live. I think he's got a great photo as well. You'd expect that from him.
Yeah. So yeah, the ball itself was lost for a few years, and during that time, it was spectacularly replaced by the modern Herion Bowl. We've dubbed it, and it is a large and very handsome trophy, obviously with a replica, a gold-plated replica of the original Herion Bowl, complete with a replication of the original signature autograph. But also has mounted upon it I believe it's a signed Mark II and a football card, which is a beautiful piece of memorabilia, and wouldn't have been easy to find just because he wasn't all that popular of a player.
It was on eBay. I just got it. It wasn't like, I don't know how many of them there would be. It's probably pretty rare. And if you recall, we stripped Matthew Brown of his league winnings that year. Because he lost the ball.
I forgot about that. We owe him money now.
we stripped him of his winnings, and I was given those winnings to procure a new trophy. I spent the entire winnings, the $250, I think it was, on that card. The rest of it came out of my pocket. But the $250, that's how much that card cost. $250 on eBay. That signed my.
I forgot that we made him pay for this. Oh, we should pay him back. Anyway, it's a beautiful trophy. It has all the names of the winners added onto it via plaques along the bottom, as you can see. Currently residing with Father Tex, as it has done for the last 2 years, but is going to be moving on to a new home this year. Now, as everybody knows, the original ball, which was presumed to have been, I don't know, turned into a bong or something by Matt Brown, was actually just left at Stu's house and lost under his kid's bed until they moved house. So, whoops.
Sorry, Matt Brown. We could have used that $250 that year.
Yep. Anyway,
however, so it's a better trophy now. What we have now is elite. What we had was not becoming of the quality of our league. What we have now is becoming of the quality of the league, and this story is quality of our league, and so it's all worked out together. Jared says, "I know you meant fantasy. That's what I heard."
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Sorry, mate.
To be fair, Jared, you've been better the last couple of years. You've been better than Schluter ever was.
I think if and Jared was within a dick's whisper of going to the Ringo Bowl this year, which would have been just one of the great injustices of all time, having finished third on points scored in the regular season. Yeah. Anyway, we'll come to that, but let's do the main event first. This is the Herion Bowl preview coming up. So,
Ringo preview.
Yeah. We haven't done the Ringo yet. We're just doing the Herion Bowl.
I'm just surprised we're starting with this. Like, wouldn't we finish with the main event?
Well, this is the order it's been done in, and I can't change it now. So we are pot committed, mate. All right. So this is a little bit hard to do because sleep. We don't normally do this show this early in the week, and sleeper hasn't rolled over to the next week. But I have manually once again highlighted some of the important players on each side. So obviously on one side of the the matchup. We've got the Bard scene here. Once again, having to listen to the members of the league complain about the rules, and clearly had enough.
Can I say before we jump into, let's talk about you here coming into this. This is the first time you've been in the Herion Bowl since the second year of this league. So I think that is 11 years in the wilderness without playing in a Herion Bowl. The last time you played in a Herion Bowl, Ben Gibson was still in this league. That's how long ago it was.
Some people have never been in it, Chris.
And you faced off. Well, I'm just saying, this is a huge moment for you. And you faced off against Kurt. Somebody put up a ridiculous score. It was all outrageous. I would have won that year if I made a different decision, but anyway. You're back after a long time in the wilderness. A lot of finals appearances, but never quite got back here. This must be a momentous moment for you personally.
It is. This is great for the league. I think in general, just having a first-time winner on deck. That was probably, as commissioner, the main thing I wanted going into the season, was just for somebody to step into the spotlight that hasn't won it before. No disrespect to Tex, but I'm not sure we needed to see him win it for a third time in a row. So I think this is a good outcome. I'm excited to be here. This doesn't feel like a championship winning team that I've got. It doesn't even feel like the best team I've had in recent years, but fantasy is just about making the playoffs, right? And I sold it. I sold the farm to make the playoffs. And, at that point, especially if you get a bye, you literally just have to piece together 2 good weeks and that's it. So the job's halfway done.
We should also noting the very positive thing about the league. We've spread out kind of the stats on this, noting that it's great to have a fresh winner. We haven't had the situation where there could be a fresh winner, maybe since the last time you were in the Herion Bowl.
You reckon?
We've looked at the stats, and I'm missing a couple of years here, but I don't think there's been a year where, because the stats we don't have are the Kurt reign of terror, right? So there hasn't been a time where there was a guaranteed fresh winner since you played Kurt, I don't believe.
Well, that one set off a decade-long dynasty of absolute dominance in the league. So maybe this will be the start of my decade of dominance. Probably not. Anyway, let's preview the game. It's going to be a good one. Kyle Pitts, what a story. This guy's come out of absolutely nowhere. Picked him up for a big fat zero. He might even have been just a random midweek free agency whim pickup about a month ago. And he's been absolutely lights out. He's pretty much carried me here. I didn't even get the benefit of his 40+ point week, but notwithstanding that, he's been scoring touchdowns every single week for the past 4 or 5 games. So the gravy train will never end, I'm sure.
The only thing he was missing his entire career was a journeyman over-the-hill quarterback to throw the ball to him.
Yeah.
He put Jacoby Brissett in his team, and he's become elite. Maybe the issue was Kyler Murray, perhaps.
Perhaps. So the Falcons have a home game against the Rams, which I think is a pretty good matchup. The Rams will put up points, so at no point do I expect the Falcons are going to have to stop throwing the ball. And this guy is just the king of checkdowns, 10 to 15 yards, which, for a tight end in our league, a 15-yard pass is worth 2.5 freaking fantasy points. So I'll take as many of them as they're willing to give him. The aforementioned Chris Olave, the Kingmaker's legacy, got me all the way here to the Herion Bowl after that trade. So he gets to go to Tennessee, who are fresh off of whipping the beleaguered Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I think this should be a pretty entertaining game. Tennessee are not particularly good, I don't think. So we should hopefully see Olave put up some more points over there. JSN, who's been absolutely fantastic. Maybe the MVP of my team throughout the season. He gets to go over to Carolina, who have got a future Hall of Fame cornerback, defensive back, which I'm a little bit worried about. Kurt's been giving me the heads up on that. The stats don't bear
Kurt's mentioned that, has he? Did he mention that about the cornerback?
The analytics don't bear out this guy's greatness, but apparently it's just because he's so good that no one throws to him. Anyway, Jason and Darnold. This is the don't overlook the Sam Darnold revenge game narrative here as well. Going into Carolina, I'm expecting some good stuff from JSN, even if he does get some tight coverage from the future Hall of Famer. And I guess the big red flag here is my poor mate Jordan Love, who I was very, very lucky to win the semi after he gets knocked out in the last game.
Was it a concussion? Was it a concussion?
Yeah, it was a concussion. He is now in the NFL's bizarre concussion protocol. He did practice today, which is really, really good. Although it is quite uncommon for players to come back within 7 days from this concussion protocol now. So I'm a little bit dubious about whether he plays, but everything is crossed fingers.
Do you have a third quarterback, or is it a different skill position
I do not
player in that?
Currently have a third quarterback on the roster. There's a few on waivers. There's a few options out there, but yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to figure out in the coming days. And I think Green Bay plays on the Saturday, as in Sunday our time, again. So we have to figure it out sooner rather than later.
Well, you can always that's effective for the sub role, or at very least.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't need an auto sub if I know he's not playing. Just take him out.
To be honest, that's a good outcome for you. You can think about it. You're going to know he's going to play, and then you can make a plan about it.
Yeah,
that's a good outcome.
Having said that, does Green Bay have any reason to rush him back? I don't know if I think our season might be over. So maybe
it's a weird season of NFL with the teams that are going to be in playoffs and the teams that aren't in playoffs. Weird,
very weird indeed. All right, so that's the highlights for the Bard. Too Good Tyson, seen here receiving the traditional welcome that immigrants receive in the US. Look, he's had a great year personally, and regardless of what happens here, he'll remember 2025 as being a really momentous year. Obviously, meeting the love of his life, moving to the US, getting married, and now expecting twins. But you know, if he was to top this off with a win in this league, I think it would be really, really brilliant for him. He does take this league very seriously. So I've known Tyson for quite a long time. Probably started working with him about 7 or 8 years ago. Right from the first time I met him, pretty much he started asking about joining this league, which he had heard about from his cousin. So he was really excited when he finally got the opportunity to join. And he's been a brilliant member of the league, super competitive, which we love. And here in his third season, has a really, really genuine chance to take home his first Herion Bowl, which I think would be richly deserved.
Where does this league rank comparatively to his other leagues? Is he still in those other leagues?
I haven't talked to him about his other leagues. Maybe he can let us know. But I think this is probably one of the more competitive ones that he's involved in.
I think he had a league where he would do this sort of program. Or
yeah. Yeah, and I get the impression that
he's here live. He's here live. He says it's now number 1. That's what we want to hear.
Thanks, Tice.
We should if he's here live, we should have him on the show. Should we bring him on the show?
That sounds like a lot of work.
No, it's not work at all. I'll send him a link. I think the first year Tyson was in this league, he absolutely annihilated the league, and we were all a little bit like this new guy comes in, he's so fucking good, it's not even his main league, and this is really annoying, he's too good. It's just like that stupid NFL Madden league I tried to set up, which he dominated or his friend dominated. They both fucking dominated. I can't remember who dominated it. It was the same thing. And I had that special ring made, the custom 10-year ring with Stamos' face on it. And it's just like, this guy coming in and winning the first year would be a travesty. And no one was really behind him. Then he had a bit of an average year last year. and now he's back. And I think if he was playing anyone else, people would be right behind him. But I'm happy if either of you win. I would like you to win because of how long you've been in the league and all the work you've done for the league. But Tyson has certainly become a key member of this league now, and I'm happy for him to win as well. I wasn't happy for him to win the first year, but I'm now very happy for him to win.
Well, now that he's got the blessing of the Kingmaker, he could use that blessing a month ago when you still had players to trade.
Well, in fact, there's a little interesting fact here because with this trade that we did, I didn't do the trade, like come up with the trade. You came to me and you said, Tyson's trying to get Amon Ra off of me. Like
he wasn't. Tyson wasn't the only one, but
he said, do you want to go to Tyson or do you want him? And I said, I can give you a Larve. What's Tyson got? And you're like, he's offering me Devonta Smith. I assume Devonta Smith wouldn't have got you to the Herion Bowl?
He actually might have. He had a really good. I think he had a really good week. I have to check, but yeah, I mean, it's funny. Tyson's counter argument was, you don't really want to trade with CK. And I'm like, no, I don't particularly.
Do you really want to trade with Tyson? Anyway, it's quite a fun little segment to see how Devonta Smith goes in this game, because you could have had him or you could have not had him, and you don't have him.
Yeah,
you got Alave.
Anyway, let's look at who Tyson's got. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey. Let's bring him in to talk about it.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to need to edit out thing. Give me 1 second. You keep talking while I do something, right?
All right. We got Christian McCaffrey, juicy home game against Chicago, who I don't care who they beat. Well, congratulations, you beat the Packers. We're decimated by injury. They're still no good. McCaffrey's going to score 3 touchdowns on them. Old mates, Jonathan Taylor-Thomas, another home game, another Phillip Rivers game.
Here he is.
Jacksonville.
Here he is.
And, welcome to Tyson. Hello, mate.
What's going on, boys? How are we?
Good. We're just
Are you excited to be in?
I am. Yeah, I was stressed. I was very stressed. I made some late-minute changes to my lineup. I should have beaten Texan by about 40 points.
Yeah, we'll come to that in a moment. And then obviously Jalen Hurts, who I think is is in the Christmas Day game over there. So have I got that right? Is he in the
No, Sunday, late afternoon Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it planned out.
Got it all planned out. You're driving over to Buffalo.
No, my wife's brother lives up in Buffalo for he's doing his doctor's PA doctor's degree up there. So he's a Buffaloes fan now. So we're going to a Buffaloes. Each bar here in Virginia, there's different themed. So you can go to different pubs, sports bars that are dedicated to the one specific team. So we're going to a Bills bar so he can sit with his fans and watch it.
Nice.
Has that been every team?
I'll be the enemy.
Every team has this?
I think there's about 10 in Northern Virginia. The Eagles have one. Wow. It's in Arlington. The Eagles have one in DC as well. Yeah, it should be good fun. And the Steelers have a pretty big one. It's in an Irish bar. So,
do the Dolphins have one, or does no one care about the shitty Dolphins?
I think they might. I didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't go watch the Dolphins.
No one would go watch the Dolphins. No. They're a trash organization. Who else has he got in the lineup?
All right, so this is going to be the biggest cause of contention.
He got Phillip Rivers.
He doesn't really have. Tyson doesn't really have a second quarterback. He has Phillip Rivers. He wussed out of starting this week. Didn't matter in the end, but he's now going to have to figure out whether he wants to put him up against Jacksonville.
He's in. I saw enough.
Yeah, see enough from the old man.
He's a gunslinger. Get him in.
He did look good, I gotta say. I watched that game. He looked good.
Jags are a bit better defense though, so that scares me. But it's at home again, which is nice.
Yeah. So yeah, these are the matchups that are going to determine the outcome here. We before you came on, Tyson, as you saw, we were just saying how good it is that it's going to be a first-time winner. I genuinely, of all the people that if I had to lose to someone, I think you'd be probably up there as one of the better picks. I think most of the league would like to see you win. So all the best. Good luck.
All my planning has come down to this week.
Yeah.
3-week
planning
bye
for
was
this
nice.
week?
I was planning for Texan to win against UCK. I'm sorry, he had better matchups for me this week, and it worked out.
All right, congratulations. Well, you've been on top of the ladder for a long time. It would be pretty shit if you were to lose, but it's basically happened every single year in this league that the guy that finishes on top does not win the.
Well,
Herion
actually,
Bowl.
I mean, I'm thank you for bringing this up, right? Because in my opinion, the curse is already broken because the number 1 seed never makes it past the semis, right?
No,
so
last year did. Kurt did.
No, that's incorrect.
NC.
I was the number 1 and I lost to Tex in the Herion Bowl.
Okay.
2 years ago.
I'm pretty sure Kurt 2 years ago was number 1 as well, no?
Yeah. You
Did
make it, you just lose.
So the curse is not broken unless Tyson actually wins this weekend.
Yes, correct.
My goal was make it to the dance. Just get to the dance. Anything can happen.
Yeah. All right.
It is the first time in a long time, I think, that the 1 and 2 both made it to the Herion.
This is actually very unusual for our league. Yeah.
Actually, no, that was the same with me and Tex, actually. But we have a fun little stack coming up. So, Tyson, I think the reason why you've been so good this year was your number 1 pick and your number 2 pick were McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor, I think in the opposite order. No?
No. 2nd and 3rd pick. First was
Hurts. Yeah.
That's getting McCaffrey and Taylor, and they both could have been duds. They both could have got injured. Obviously, they're elite guys. They get injured all the time. So they both could have got injured, and your season would be over. They both basically played the entire season. What a run! Badams,
So
what do you think got you here?
It did. Before the CMC pick, I wasn't going to pick him. I didn't want to touch him. But then I just thought, fuck it. He's a home run hitter. If it comes off, it comes off. And if I lose the league, I lose the league. It's paid off.
It has come off beautifully. And you, Bard, what
nice.
were the big players that got you here, do you think? Besides Chris Olave.
Sorry, was that a question for me, Chris?
Yeah. Who got you? Which players got you to the dance?
JSN and Amon Ra. Only one of whom is still on the roster.
Amon Ra wouldn't have got you to the dance. That was all Chris Olave.
And
Myers.
Derrick Henry is heading up, and yes, the Seattle kicker who had an uncharacteristic bad week in the semis this week, but he'll be back. Yeah, Jason Myers. All right. Any final thoughts, Chris, on this matchup?
I am happy for either of you to win. I think that Tyson's had the best team all year. I think you'll need another couple of fluky points like an Olave or a Kyle Pitts massacre again or something to get over the line. I think we had a very even league, but Tyson was way out in front, and that's because his team was way better than everyone else's. I'm happy for either of you to win. I probably lean more on the Bard because then I can go on about being a Kingmaker again, and you know how much I love that shit. Yeah. If I can't win, I want to be if I can't be the king, I want to be the Kingmaker. So that's where I sit.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys in. I'm not sure either of you are aware of this, but there was almost a 4-team trade, probably around Halloween or end of October, between Texan, myself, Kurt was in on it, and my cousin Matt. But no one could fully agree on terms. But it would have meant me giving up McCaffrey for Josh Allen and getting ETN and AJ Brown.
That could have sunk you.
That could have sunk you. Yeah.
It would have in the end, I think. AJ Brown dominating would have lifted him, and ETN. So I would have been all right in the end. But
Josh Allen would have been your second quarterback to go with Hurts?
It would have been Hurts and Allen.
That would have been tough.
Yeah.
Tough to beat. That would have been very impressive. All right, well, that sounds exciting, but I'm glad that didn't happen because that would even make it less competitive. So best of luck to you both. Any final words from you, Tyson, before we let you go?
No, I'm all good. I'm about to fall asleep, so.
All right, mate.
All right, good night.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. See you guys. Good luck. Bye.
All right, that was good. Little
Yeah.
unexpected cameo from my opponent this week, which is
We've
good.
normally had the guys on if they're in the bowl, but I didn't know what time it was in America, so I didn't worry about it. But it's great that he was here.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. History lesson number 2. The Ringo, nothing to do with the drummer from the Beatles. Is of course the Aaron Hernandez Super Bowl rings. So the story with this one, and I don't actually have. I think the original rings are lost. I don't even have a photo of them, to be honest.
There is a picture of you somewhere, I think.
They
Do
look
like that?
something like this, right? And so this was these were provided by Dan, the inaugural commissioner of the league, who, to say that he quit after 1 year would be overly generous. He actually quit halfway through the first season, realistically, lost interest and stopped logging in, and was summarily stripped of power and politely asked to exit his role as commissioner. But essentially, this is like another kid's toy, right? It's like a set of plastic novelty handcuffs on which he had written the Aaron Hernandez Super Bowl rings. A good bit at the time, because the big news story in the NFL at the moment in 2013 was the arrest and trial of Aaron Hernandez for double murder, double homicide, right? So very funny. And these things were just kind of passed around to the last place for a little while. Now these weren't replaced. There's Aaron Hernandez. These weren't replaced because they were lost. They were replaced because 1 year you found a hilarious replacement for them. You texted us on draft night to say, "I'm going to be late to the draft, boys, but don't worry, it'll be worth it." And I was like, "It's a fucking guy." And then you showed up with a genuine pair of 19th century prison manacles
from the Fremantle prison.
From the Fremantle prison, which you had bought on Facebook Marketplace for an undisclosed sum.
It was a bargain, actually. It was a bargain, and I know it was a bargain because after I did the deal, the woman's like, "Are you coming? Are you coming?" And I was in an Uber to the other fucking side of the earth. And I'm like, "Yes, I'm coming. I'm coming to get it." She's like, "I've got like 10 more offers for these fucking things." Like, when you undervalue something on Marketplace, you get a bazillion offers. When you overvalue it, you get no offers. She had people coming out the woodwork for these things.
Yeah, like fantasy leagues, left, right, center, we're coming for these things.
Maybe they had historical value. Maybe they're worth a lot of money. I don't know. But they're lost. No one knows where they are.
Are they lost as well?
They're lost.
For fuck's sake. The people in this league, I tell you what. Who's lost them? Do we know?
It seems like the blame game's being passed between Andy and Stu.
Oh dear. Well, I would be a lot more upset about these being lost than about the signed football, because these will be genuinely hard to replace. So I hope we find them.
People wear them when they make their first pick. It was
yeah. One of our traditions is we make the holder physically wear them while they make their first pick in the draft, which is very funny. Anyway, these are the Aaron Hernandez Super Bowl rings, and they are contested in the Ringo Bowl. I'm not going to do a full preview of this one. I've simply put up the most embarrassing player on each person's roster, which I think is fitting. So on one side we have Big Popper with Bryce Young. Now, you did work out how many Ringo Bowls Big Popper had appeared in, and the number was high.
We think this is number 5.
We think this is number 5, yeah, which is troubling.
We think he's only taken out. Oh, he's had 2 with Jared and Carter, but if he was to take the Ringo here, he would have the most Ringos in 3, and he's, I think, been in the most already, being in 5. 5 years out of 13, and he wasn't in it for the first year. So 5
years out of 12 for him.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm good. You continue.
So not a great position. 5 years out of 12 for him. He's been in there. Obviously, he's against Matt Brown, Kirk Cousins is not exactly the most embarrassing player on the roster, but I put it on here to highlight the fact that he's actually the only active quarterback that is playing this week on Matt Brown's roster, which is not a great spot to be in. Maybe he'll address that, maybe he won't. But these were the 11 and 12 seed from the regular season. So we have 1 and 2 in the championship game, and we have 11 and 12 in the Ringo Bowl, which is quite fitting. And how many times did we think Matt Brown had been in this thing? It wasn't as many as Stu, right? But it was still a couple.
This is his third appearance, but he's never actually taken out.
He's never claimed it. Yeah.
Never claimed the rings. And actually, I don't know if that's right. I reckon there's a year that we're missing where he claimed it, because I remember him having to have the iPad with Jared on it and make all Jared's picks. He had to make all Jared's picks one year. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
He had to make all of Jared's picks and he had the iPad. So I think he's done it. I think he has a Ringo. It's not on the current stats I'm looking at. So it could be a fourth appearance for him. Karmically, I feel Matt Brown deserves this Ringo. He dodged an absolute bullet in the year he didn't set the team for 3 weeks. It was outrageous that Andy lost that. And I actually think, Stu has been in 5 of 12, as we say. But Stu's team this year wasn't horrible. His draft, other than when he drafted Brian Robinson, wasn't horrible. It didn't have the 3 quarterback nonsense like we've seen in the past. Am I wrecking out?
Yeah, very much so. My question, and so I don't want to harp on too much about this because I have done it to death. My question is, what has Stu done to improve his team? Like, my main criticism of Stu is that he drafts a team and then he just sets the lineup and hopes for the best. Like, he doesn't get involved in waivers, doesn't get involved in trades. He kind of views fantasy as a draft, rather than a season-long investment in building a team that's going to be successful down the stretch. And I think we're starting to see with 5 years out of 12 in the Ringo Bowl, we're starting to see like a pretty consistent pattern of what happens if you don't actually actively try to improve your team throughout the year. So karmically, to use your words, I actually think Stu deserves a little bit more, but we'll see. Both these guys deserve to be there.
Yeah, I don't know. Stu feels it feels like it's been a tough year for Stu this year. Normally he's a bit jovial about all this shit, but he seems really down in the dumps about his performance this year. So, karmically, I don't think Stu deserves a back-to-back.
No, that's fair. But I think I said, I can't remember if I said this on air or after we started, but I'm glad Jared's not there. Jared did not deserve to be. Yeah. He barely scraped through. So yeah, all the very worst of luck to both those guys. That is that's the end of the pack, mate. So
you've done an amazing job with the slides this year, able to contribute in any meaningful way. That includes on the show. So thank you for your quality work in putting that together. It's been outstanding.
You're welcome, mate. Hope you have a nice Christmas. Watch a bit of football. Cheer on the Bard in the Herion Bowl. You going away? If you normally go away over Christmas, New Year, you got a little holiday planned?
Yeah, just the usual. It'll be nice. So best of luck to you. I'm on Team Bard because that's Kingmaker relevant, and it's been a long time coming. So all the best.
Hoping to add another ring next year.
Double rings. That's what we want to see. All right, best of luck, and thanks to everyone for a great year. It was a great year.
It was. Thanks, everybody.